All right, so think about this for a second. Have you ever just stood out in a forest or maybe by the ocean and really listened to all the sounds around you? You know, the clicks, the calls, the songs? We're about to dig into whether that's all just background noise or if it's something way, way more profound.
So that's the big question, right? When you hear a bird chirp or a wolf howl, are you just hearing a random sound? Or could you be eavesdropping on a conversation that's been going on for literally millions of years, right under our noses? That's what we're going to explore.
Okay, so first things first. Before we can even figure out if animals are talking, we've got to tackle the word language itself. Because, well, it turns out our definition has been pretty narrow for a very, very long time. What if we've been looking at it all wrong?
See, the classic academic view of language is super human-centric. It's all about these complex rules, syntax, grammar, all the stuff you learned in school. The building blocks that let us create basically an infinite number of sentences. And by that strict definition, yeah, most animals just didn't make the cut.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have our system with all its intricate rules. And on the other, you have what we've always seen in the animal kingdom: warning calls, mating songs, elaborate dances. But here's the kicker. What if those signals have a structure and a meaning far deeper than we ever imagined?
And this is where it gets really, really cool. Let's look at the evidence, because some of it is just mind-blowing. We're about to go on a quick tour of some of the most amazing conversations happening in nature right now.
First up, we're diving deep, way down beneath the waves, to listen in on the absolutely haunting and incredibly complex songs of humpback whales.
And what's just incredible is that these aren't just simple, repetitive sounds. The songs of humpback whales are long, they're structured, and they actually change over time. Different pods, get this, have their own regional dialects. It's like they're singing their own local folk songs. And it's not just them. Dolphins use these unique whistles that act just like names, letting them call out to specific individuals. This isn't just instinct. This points to culture, to a real social intelligence.
All right, from the ocean, let's head out to the savannah. There's a totally different kind of conversation happening here, one that we literally can't even hear.
Elephants are talking to each other using infrasound. These are super low-frequency rumbles that travel for miles through the ground itself. It's like their own private long-distance internet. They use it to keep their herds together, to warn each other about predators, to call family members from miles away. And this is just profound. Scientists believe they even use these rumbles to mourn their dead.
Now for our last example. We're going to zoom way in on something much smaller, but honestly just as complex. I'm talking about the mathematical genius of the common honeybee. You've probably heard of the waggle dance, but it's basically a living, breathing map. The angle of the bee's dance tells the other bees the direction to go, using the sun as a reference point. And the length of the dance, how long the bee waggles, tells them exactly how far away the food is. It's pure symbolic language. It's a set of GPS coordinates delivered through choreography. Just amazing.
Okay, so we have all this incredible evidence that animals are communicating in really complex ways. But how do we actually decipher it? I mean, how do we crack the code? Well, this is where technology is about to change everything.
The big breakthrough here is artificial intelligence. AI can listen in a way that we physically can't. You have groups like the Earth Species Project building these enormous audio libraries, just recording everything. Then they feed all that data into machine learning algorithms that can spot tiny, subtle patterns in pitch, in rhythm, in structure, things that are totally invisible to us.
And what's the ultimate goal of all this? I know it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but scientists are dead serious about this. They are trying to build a Google Translate for the animal kingdom.
And that, of course, brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of this whole discussion. Let's say we do it. Let's say we succeed. What happens then? What does the world actually look like after we finally say hello and they understand us?
The first question is just massive. If we can prove scientifically that animals are communicating with intent and with meaning, does that completely change their moral and legal status? I mean, does an animal that can speak deserve to have rights?
But then, you've got to consider the darker side too. Could this incredible technology, this tool for empathy, become a new tool for exploitation? If we can understand them, could we also learn to manipulate them in ways we can't even begin to imagine today?
And finally, the really big one. What does this do to us, to our understanding of ourselves? For centuries, we've basically defined what it means to be human by our unique ability to use language. If that boundary just shatters, what does it mean to be human on a planet that's full of other thinking, talking, conversational minds?
And that really leaves us with this final thought. It's something to sit with for a while. Maybe the world was never silent. Maybe the conversation has been happening all around us this whole time. And maybe, just maybe, we are finally ready to start listening.